In our last video, we covered 15 vegetables and herbs that keep producing all season long from a single container. Did any of those make it onto your patio yet? Today we're switching gears completely, because vegetables aren't the only thing that can thrive in a pot through the worst heat of the year. I'm going to show you 5 dwarf fruit trees and shrubs that don't just survive August, they actually perform better because of it. Plant just one of these, and you could be harvesting real, full-sized fruit for years from a container smaller than you'd expect. Stick around until the very end, because the final plant on this list is one of the toughest, strangest, most rewarding fruiting plants you can put on a patio, and almost nobody grows it. So grab your pots, and let's get planting. Starting off at number 5, the dwarf fig, specifically the Petite Negra variety. Most people assume fig trees are a ground-only crop, something that needs a full-sized Mediterranean orchard to produce anything worthwhile. Petite Negra throws that assumption out entirely. This is a naturally dwarf fig that tops out around 3 to 4 feet tall in a pot, yet it produces full-sized, richly flavored black figs, and it starts doing it shockingly early. Fig roots are naturally shallow, which is exactly why they adapt so well to container life, and why they actually prefer having their roots slightly restricted. Start young plants in a container around 15 inches wide. Then move up to a 15 to 20 gallon pot as the tree matures, and you'll get your strongest yields. Figs love heat. They're a Mediterranean plant at heart. So long, scorching August days are precisely the conditions they evolved for, as long as you keep the soil from drying out completely. During peak summer heat, expect to water daily, roughly a quarter to a full gallon for every 5 gallons of soil in the container. Give it 6 to 8 hours of direct sun, and this tree will reward you fast. Petite Negra can begin fruiting when it's barely a foot tall, and in warm climates, it's capable of producing 2 separate crops in a single year. A well-established container fig can produce dozens of fruits by its 2nd or 3rd year, climbing even higher once it's moved into a larger pot. Here's a fascinating fact. Fig trees don't actually flower the way most fruiting plants do. The flowers form entirely inside the fruit itself, which means the fig you're eating is technically an inverted cluster of hundreds of tiny blossoms that never see daylight. That structure is also why figs are self-pollinating in most modern varieties, so you only need one plant to get a full harvest. Coming in at number 4, the dwarf Meyer lemon. If you've ever assumed citrus trees are too fussy and too tropical to survive a container on a hot patio, the Meyer lemon is going to change your mind. This is a naturally compact cross between a lemon and a mandarin orange, and it was practically built for container life. A 5-gallon pot at least 12 to 15 inches deep is enough to get started, though most growers eventually move up as the tree fills out. The fruit itself is sweeter and less acidic than a standard grocery store lemon, with impressively thin skin. Give it 6 to 8 hours of direct sun and let the top 2 to 3 inches of soil dry out between waterings. But expect to water twice a week once summer heat sets in, since container soil dries out far faster than garden soil. Here's the part that surprises people. Once a Meyer lemon tree matures, it actually handles blistering heat waves quite well, though a young tree benefits from afternoon shade and extra water during the hottest stretches. In ideal conditions, this tree can bloom multiple times throughout the year, meaning you might have fragrant white flowers and ripening lemons on the same branch simultaneously. Each individual flower takes roughly 6 to 9 months to become a fully ripened lemon, with the heaviest harvest typically landing between November and April, though container trees in warm regions can produce sporadically almost year-round. Here's a fascinating fact. That intoxicating citrus fragrance that fills a room when this tree blooms isn't just for show. It comes from the same essential oil compounds found in jasmine, which is why Meyer lemon trees have been prized as ornamental houseplants in cooler climates for well over a century, long before anyone cared about the fruit at all. At number 3, and this one is going to surprise a lot of you, Barbados cherry, also known as acerola. Most people have never even heard of this plant, and that's a shame, because it might be the single most nutrient-dense fruit you can grow in a pot. This is a small tropical shrub that produces clusters of bright red, tart sweet cherries that taste like a cross between a cranberry and a tart apple. It thrives in heat, actually preferring the exact blazing, humid conditions that make most fruiting plants wilt. Give it a large 15 to 25 gallon container with excellent drainage, full sun, and well-draining potting mix. It's genuinely low maintenance once established, tolerating dry spells, though it rewards regular watering with a noticeably bigger harvest. This shrub grows fast and starts producing shockingly quickly for a fruit tree, often bearing its first cherries within just 1 to 2 years, and once established, it can flower and fruit multiple times throughout the warm season rather than just once a year. There's a catch worth knowing. Acerola cherries are extremely perishable and start losing quality within hours of being picked, so this is very much an eat it fresh off the branch kind of fruit, which honestly just gives you an excuse to snack straight from the container all summer. And the nutrition here is almost hard to believe. Acerola cherries contain roughly 30 to 50 times more vitamin C than an orange of the same size, meaning a small handful can cover your entire daily requirement. Toss them raw into smoothies or crush them into a quick syrup for drinks and desserts. Here's a fascinating fact. It wasn't until 1946 that researchers Conrado Asenjo and Ana Rosa Freire de Guzman formally documented just how extreme this fruit's vitamin C content really was. And their discovery is part of why acerola extract still shows up in supplements and juice blends around the world today. Sliding into number 2, the dwarf pomegranate. Most people picture pomegranates as sprawling, unruly trees that need an orchard-sized yard, and for standard varieties, that's true. But naturally compact cultivars completely change the equation, and the timing could not line up better with this video's theme, because certain dwarf pomegranates are specifically bred to begin ripening in August. Pomegranates are one of the most heat-tolerant fruiting plants you can grow in a container, comfortably handling temperature swings from around 50 all the way up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit once established, and they're also remarkably disease-resistant compared to other potted fruit trees, rarely suffering from the fungal problems that plague container figs or peaches. For a true dwarf variety, a 10-gallon container is the bare minimum, but 15 gallons is the sweet spot for strong, consistent production. Give it full sun, at least 6 to 8 hours daily, and water deeply whenever the top 2 to 3 inches of soil dry out, which in peak summer heat usually means every 3 to 5 days. Container pomegranates typically begin fruiting by their 2nd or 3rd year. One important note if you're buying a dwarf variety specifically for the harvest, some ultra-compact cultivars like Nana were bred purely for ornamental bonsai use and produce fruit that isn't worth eating, so look specifically for dwarf types bred for flavor. Once established, this plant delivers a genuinely striking display, with vivid orange-red blooms in early summer that draw in hummingbirds and pollinators before giving way to the fruit itself. Here's a fascinating fact. A pomegranate isn't ripe based on color alone. Growers are taught to judge readiness by sound, gently tapping the fruit and listening for a distinct metallic ring. A technique passed down through generations of growers because pomegranates, unlike most fruit, will not continue to ripen or sweeten after they're picked. And that brings us to the number 1 spot, the plant I promised would completely surprise you, pineapple guava, also known as feijoa. If there is one plant on this entire list built to laugh in the face of August heat, it's this one. Feijoa is a South American shrub originally from the highlands of Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay, and it has one of the widest temperature tolerances of any fruiting plant you can grow, comfortably surviving conditions anywhere from 19 all the way up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Most container fruit trees start struggling the moment summer peaks. Feijoa is just getting comfortable. It needs a spacious container, ideally in the 15 to 20 gallon range, filled with well-draining, sandy loam soil, rich in organic matter. Give it at least half a day of direct sun, and once it's established, it's genuinely drought-tolerant, needing supplemental water mainly during extended heat spells above 90 degrees to prevent leaf browning and fruit drop. This is also one of the only plants on this list where you can eat more than just the fruit. The thick white flower petals that appear in mid-spring are edible too, with a soft, almost marshmallow-like sweetness, and you can pick them straight off the blossom without harming the fruit forming behind them. The full-sized fruit itself has a genuinely unique flavor profile, often described as pineapple, guava, and mint all layered together, and it's packed with vitamin C, dietary fiber, and antioxidants. Patience is required here. Fruit typically takes 4.5 to 6 months to ripen after flowering, usually landing in late summer into early winter, and the plant itself won't start producing meaningful harvests until it's 3 to 5 years old. But once it does, it keeps going for an extraordinary length of time. A well-cared-for feijoa shrub can live and keep fruiting for 50 to 70 years, making this less of a seasonal container crop and more of a decades-long investment on your patio. One thing to plan for: not every feijoa variety is self-fertile, so unless you specifically choose a self-pollinating cultivar, you may need a second plant nearby for reliable fruit set. Here's a fascinating fact. Despite the name, pineapple guava isn't a true guava at all. It actually belongs to the myrtle family, the same botanical family as eucalyptus and clove, which is part of why its flavor and fragrance are so unlike anything else you've grown before. And that's the list. 5 dwarf fruit trees and shrubs that don't just tolerate August heat, they were practically built for it. If I had to pick my personal favorite from this list, it's the feijoa, purely because I never expected a fruit tree to also hand me edible flowers and a 50-year lifespan in a single pot. Which one are you planning to try first? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next container gardening video. Bye for now, and happy planting.